Hey folks, this is Nergal from Behemoth, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show.
Adam Nergal Darski, an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Firstly, how are you and how's the last year and a half been during the pandemic?
Well, it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, should we
That's
say?
what it was. I was pretty, okay with the first, lockdown. Then second, it would just get worse because there's like no horizon really. There's no, I can't see like a smart solution to all that, So it kind of brings a lot of frustration and it's just not, stability. There's no stability there in the situation. So I'm kind of frustrated and annoyed, But all I can do is just, be as patient as I can be.
Exactly.
But other than that, I'm excited to, have Me and the Man album out in a couple of days. I'm excited to be like deep in the process of the next Behemoth album.
Yeah.
And all the stuff around that it's gonna be fucking amazing. So, artistically and creatively, I'm very active. I would just love to see a fruition for all of that, I need to release that at some point. I need to go out there and confront that with people in the real life.
Yeah.
And so far, there were not much occasions to do that. So
yeah. Well, we'll get into that. Let's start with Me and That Man, because, mate, I love this band. When I first heard the single My Church is Black from the debut album Songs of Love and Death, it took my ear visually in the video too. Now you've signed another pact with the devil and you're back with your third effort, New Man, New Song, Same Shit, Volume 2, which is out this month. How much fun do you have writing and performing these tracks?
Actually, a lot of fun. I loved it, and it's like Me and That Man is a very spontaneous project. Okay, it's just I just punch a chord and boom, and it either turns into the song or it won't. So it's very spontaneous. Things happen magically, and usually I just jam with the guys, and that's how we make songs. So.
Yeah.
There is not much overthinking here. It's basically like the gut feeling.
Yeah.
You go for it. You use intuition and you just go with the flow, and that is amazing. That's quite an opposite to Behemoth. That is way more complex and just completely different animal.
Yeah.
So it's hard to I'm not gonna compare, but it's basically like a different side of me in Me and That Man. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Spontaneity. It's I'm happy to have the record out. Super excited to have like all those amazing guests, being like featured on one record. That's pretty unprecedented. Especially like if you think of like having so many mainly metal musicians, like rock, heavy metal, death metal, black metal people doing stuff that is everything but metal. So that's quite unprecedented.
You had some awesome guests on the last album. Then the first album was just the band on its own. What point was it where you thought it'd be cool to have friends and peers to collaborate with? Because it's awesome to hear people like Abbott, David Vincent, and an amazing vocal performance from Mirko on this one.
Yeah, basically I was forced to do something different, because after the first record, Songs of Love and Death, John just quit, and he didn't even send a text. We just went on Facebook and said, I'm no longer a part of this band.
I saw that.
Which was quite lame of him doing that, but let's not get into that. I'm on really good terms with John now, and we're actually working on a song now together, just doing one song, one off. So when he was out, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? I knew that John is John. There's no other John, okay?
Yeah.
So, and he's a character, and he was so unique, so special. So trying to replace him with another guy, like, of similar profile, I didn't want to go there. So instead, I just decided that I'm just gonna do these crazy collaborations, and because if you dig Songs of Love and Death, you cannot really compare that to any of the volumes, because it's completely different approach, So it's the same band, but kind of like slightly different music and different approach. So I really wanted to avoid comparisons.
Yeah.
So if you like both incarnations, cool. But you can't really compare them. Oh, this new vocalist is better.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, which one? There's been plenty. So for me, it was just a trick to kind of get away from that difficult situation. And I think it kind of, by regrouping, by redefining the project into that, multiple collaborations, it it's just a different light and things.
Yeah. Is there anyone you would want to collaborate with who you haven't approached yet, or have
Yes.
all those boxes been ticked?
Yes. I was talking to Justin Sullivan, one of my all-time favorite singers.
Yeah.
I'm a huge New Model Army fan,
Yeah.
and I met Justin. We became colleagues, and he was into that idea. So "Got Your Tongue" was initially sung for Justin, but then I guess because he never replied to my, we started talking, but he never came back to me. So I would just, I didn't want to be a pusher, so I just, figure out that he was just busy with his solo album.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave up, maybe one day, you never know. But, so yeah, I wanted to have Ville Valo from him, and he was interested as well. But then at some point he gave up. He wouldn't reply to my emails. So same story. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess that, they just too busy or don't want to do it for some reason, which is cool,
Yeah.
I really wanted to have Glenn Danzig,
I knew you were going to say that.
When
I knew you were going to say that, mate. I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's my first obvious and most obvious choice, to have Glenn. But then, when I talk to Glenn, he's like, yeah, sing a song. But then he never replies to emails, so, but, yeah, I mean, no hard feelings, really. I know how it works.
Yeah.
I'm not, people are busy. People have their own things, different, vibes and stuff. So I'm like, no hard feelings, really.
Of course. Now, what got you to go down the Me and That Man road in the first place?
Well, I really needed, Behemoth for fucking 3 decades now, it's like fucking blowing up a massive balloon. Everything gets only bigger and bigger. The budgets are getting bigger and better. We're spending more money on production, and that's the way to go. Because Behemoth's approach to stage, to visuals, to everything, to the quality of what we do is quite like the one, I don't know, of Slipknot or Rammstein, okay? You just can't slow down. You can't go back to fucking 90s and record on, 8-track machine. Like, no.
Yeah.
You have always strive for more, higher, bigger. So I really needed like an outlet to, I just wanted to do something that would be very opposite on the contrary, on the other side of the pole.
Yeah, I got you.
Something stripped down, minimalistic, simplistic, sometimes even primitive, sloppy, and I'm not even fucking. And I mean it, sloppy.
Yeah.
And when you get into what we do, we don't really use click on the records. When we play live, it's very human and it's very humane.
Yeah.
And it's super genuine and it's very imperfect, so to say.
Yeah.
Well, Behemoth is very perfect on many levels. So basically, to do something that would just level me out, so I won't go crazy with striving for perfection with my mother band.
Yeah, of course. Now, I saw you with Me and That Man back in Krakow back in 2017, I think it was. I also had tickets for London, which was cancelled. Shows are important to you. How frustrating has the last year and a half been for you on that front?
Man, I'm done with that. I don't know what to say. I even fucking use all my curses. Just there's no more left in the dictionary, really. I'm just sitting here talking to you while I should be fucking talking to you in person, maybe before or after the show, or just at the festival, or I really need people in my life. I need to socialize. I need to bring my art and perform it and confront it with the living fucking humans. So as much as I'm happy that I'm still creative, releasing stuff with Behemoth, Me and That Man, it's I reached the peak, okay, of frustration and just how annoyed I am with the whole situation.
Yeah.
So I crave for the world to unplug in 22, and let's cross fingers, all of us, that like we get some of quality back at some point.
So with that all in mind, touring-wise, what have me and that man got on the horizon? Is it difficult to schedule with the Behemoth commitments?
Well, you know what? I remember like the first seasons that we would do, like the festival seasons that I would do, like every now and then I would just do shows like head to head, basically, like me, like back and forth. Me and that man and Behemoth, and I would just kill my voice because of that, because if I'm in me and the man mode, I'm singing. And then next day when I do like Screamo, and I go back next day to singing, my voice is fucked.
Yeah, of course.
So there's no time for like a proper recovery. So I told my agent back then, never again, because I want to be 100% here, 100% there.
Yeah, of course.
And not fucking 63 and 52, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, next year, we have already scheduled like fucking handful of festivals. And my agent was like, yeah, but back in the day you told me that you don't want to, like, are you able to do Me and That Man and then Behemoth and the next day Me and That Man? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, but you said something completely different 3 years ago. But it was different situation, man. I'm not going to sit here and fucking
wait.
and be picky.
No.
I'm not going to be picky. I fucking want to go out there at any cost. Fuck that, I'm going to ruin my voice. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just let me play.
Yeah.
Let me play.
Behemoth headline Bloodstock next year. How does it feel when you headline shows like that and then maybe play the second or third stage with Me and That Man? Does it feel strange, or is it quite nice to go to a smaller setup?
It's intimate. It's different. It's I like clubs. For Me and That Man, I like clubs.
Yeah.
We did some festivals, and it's like, I think like more like intimate facilities are more appropriate. But then again, I mean, we can work with crowds as well.
Yeah.
And trust me, like we did work with metal crowds, and I mean, I see thousands of throats singing along to burning churches. I see that with the eyes of my imagination. Okay, and even it's more of a shanty than it's heavy metal.
Yeah.
I mean, the approach of the song and the vitality of it and the idea is we can meet a common ground with metalheads, and I'm really, I have balls to step into that ring and can bring that, Americana, folky,
Southern Gothic,
rockabilly stuff. And let's boogie metalheads.
Do you approach both sets of shows in the same way, or are they completely different?
It's a different animal. It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Profiles, really. I mean, well, just to give you like the most like obvious example, I never go sober. I never enter the stage sober with Me and That Man. I think I'm a little tipsy. Then I crack another bottle of wine, and there's some other stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about that can also help me out, and that is awesome. That feels awesome, really, and that is very rock and roll, and that is very Dionysian, so to say, and very vital, and that's what it's supposed to fucking be.
Exactly.
While Behemoth, I need to be so focused that within the camp, within the band, within the team, you're not even allowed to smell beer on a show day. So we are being like very Nazi in the Behemoth camp when it comes to rules. We're like, no fucking way, like no drugs, no alcohol, nothing. Show is the top priority. Yeah. It's so much going on stage, like the performance and everything. It's got to be fucking top notch. Yeah. No question, no compromise. Well, Me and That Man, the loser, the more relaxed you are, the better that is.
Yeah. Now, talking about beer, I remember going to your barbers in Warsaw and being offered an 11% Behemoth beer mid-morning, and I didn't say no, by the way. Now, you never stop. You've got beer, music, barbers, male aesthetic salons, vintage T-shirt shops, guitar pedals. What else is on your agenda, and what needs to be done and bucket listed? I mean, does it evolve all the time, or have you got a certain set of things you want to achieve?
Well, I just, I think like us human beings, we're very complex. And it's pretty much just to us if we let ourselves, try things out. I mean, I don't want to end up in a ghetto. I mean, I love my heavy metal cave. And that is my mother womb, so to say. But I'm really willing to try things out. I'm not saying I'm going to be a good actor, but I really want to play in a theater at some point.
I can see you doing that.
I do as well, if I fail, I fail, but let me fucking try. So, and my mind is really all over the place, and I mean, like some people that can really split their mind and do, they just, focus on one thing and that's it. I can really do three things at the same time, almost like Napoleon. I'm just a little taller than him. But to be honest, like, yesterday I had a dinner with Bruce Dickinson, and if you ask me, what I look up to, I mean, I look up to Bruce Dickinson. He's the Renaissance man. He's someone who's like, holy shit, that is awesome. I mean, all he does, all he captures, all he embraces, all the knowledge, all that curiosity, all that hunger for life, and it's all like dimensions. That is a way to go for me. So I get it for what I do as well. Of course, there's people that tell me, oh, you do this for money, you do this for that, you're just cashing, monetizing. I'm like, no, I'm having fun with bringing, I don't know, a Behemoth whiskey. It's fun. And it's just, I play with it, and do I need to do it? No, but I have a need to do that. So I will, as long as I'm having fun with that, I bring it along.
Now, with regards to Vintage Hell, your vintage T-shirts that you buy and collect and sell, how many T-shirts that you acquired do you keep for yourself? Because I sold you an Eerie Von photography T-shirt a couple of years ago. I think it was last year, actually. Do you keep much of your gear?
Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh, of course.
Did you keep that?
Amazing.
Did you keep it?
Yeah, it's a keeper. It's a keeper, yeah.
I knew you'd keep that.
Yeah, it's a keeper, and it's one of a kind, of course. I never counted, but lately when I made a post about my personal collection, I think I mentioned 500 easily.
Wow. Christ, wow!
And it's growing, of course, because I just cannot stop.
No.
So, but like with Vintage Hell, it's like I get stuff, from people, and then I I sell it. And sometimes it's like some shirts that I own, I'm like, will I need it? Maybe not. So sometimes I run through my own stash and just decide to let some of the gems go because I'm like, or even make some space for others, because I mean the room is limited. So
a couple more things left, mate, before you got to go. I loved watching your documentary, Adam the Apostate, and learning more about your struggles as an outspoken artist in Poland. Is the whole Blasphemy case resolved now?
There's few ongoing, so it's so it wasn't just one case it's few cases, okay, and I'm pretty confused what's done and what's not done. I pay my it is ridiculous. I pay my lawyers to keep up with that. I try to focus on doing interviews, making music, and every now and then I go to court and confront these absurd accusations. And so far so good. I've never been convicted. I like using the occasion. I wanted to say thank you, world, for all the feedback to Ordo Blasphemia, to my to the funds that you raised on my behalf. I tried to use them in an intelligent way, just to raise awareness. Some of that I did spend on lawyers again, and there's more to come. Just wait and see what Behemoth is cooking up next year. I do now from now on, like for years now. Everything I do, trust me, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I do something, I come up with some idea, some project, and I talk to manager, and then I talk to my lawyer and send him the project and say, okay, what's the risks of court cases? Like, that is insane for an artist, just to that is ridiculous, but and they're like, okay, are you willing to take a risk? Because now this for sure someone's gonna accuse you of I'm like, man, and I'm tired, and I am tired, and like but then again, on the other hand, I'm tired, but then I'm relentless, and I'm like, fuck no, go for it, I know that I ain't doing anything wrong intentionally. I'm not harming people, I'm relatively friendly animal, I don't want to hurt people, but if you enter my temples, be it social media, show, or you buy a record and then you read the lyrics, or you watch the YouTube clip and you're like, oh, now I'm offended. It means that you are fucking dumb, you are stupid, you're an idiot. Just avoid that content. I don't go to places where I don't like things. I use my brain. I pick.
Exactly. So without drawing you into another lawsuit, in Poland, what needs to happen to sort out this draconian system? What's the Nergal perspective on that?
I don't think it's going to change. It's only radicalizing. It's getting more and more radical. And the opinion is, like, the public opinion is only polarizing and just going, like, more bipolar and extreme. And, with, like, all these opportunities, the populist politicians, they just want to, build some, PR on my back, and I know that, so I know that I'm being used here as a scapegoat, basically, because Nergal, being a public figure, is an easy target, okay?
Yeah.
I'm an easy target. I'm on the spot. That's why I'm being attacked, and not hundreds and thousands of other anti-Christian satanic bands. And we know that if you dig deep there, some of that stuff there it beats us when it comes to level of so-called blasphemy, right? The level of like offense and how brutal it can be. It's all there in their underground, but no one cares. So Behemoth going not really mainstream, but Behemoth being on the spot, this is a sacrifice. This is I call it a VAT tax that we must pay and include for who we are, for our identity, and that is ridiculous.
So finally, what's next for Behemoth? What can we expect? Is it going to be a big 2022 for you?
Man, that's what. Let's hold our hands and shout out loud. Universe, please do unplug universe. Fucking release that motherfucking energy, because we're gonna die here in our homes. So I'm really hoping for the world to open up, for stages to open up, for flawless border crossing, for like globalized, COVID rules, so we know what we're doing and where we are doing, because now it's all a clusterfuck, and I hate that. So we are preparing a record. All I gotta say now is music is ready and done. So I'm directing those words to whoever is in charge. Green light, and we go.
So your legion of fans are fiercely loyal to you. Best fans in the world? What message do you have for them?
Stay away from COVID. Stay away from troubles. Get vaccinated. Don't believe, conspiracy theories. The info pandemic is worse than the COVID pandemic, but the COVID pandemic is a threat. So be smart with your choices. Take care of yourself and people around you. And don't be egoistic. Get vaccinated, and let's get some kind of normality back in our lives, because Behemoth fucking misses you.
Awesome. Well, Nergal, an absolute honor, my friend. Thanks for the chat, and I'll definitely be seeing you on the road next year.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.